Hey everybody, welcome to Hockey Skate Down. Before we get into the video, I just want to say thank you to all my subscribers. If you want to join our hockey team, it's free. Click subscribe, hit the notification bell to all. Thank you all so much, and let's get started. So Elliot dropped a pretty interesting tweet this morning regarding New Jersey Devils forward Tyler Toffoli. Tyler Toffoli is on an expiring contract, and with the Devils' loss to the LA Kings 5-1 yesterday, is one of those players that if the Devils go into sell mode, which they should because they can't close out the year with the remaining 21 games going 16-5 with the way they played all year. They can't. So they should try to trade him to recoup assets. But Tyler Toffoli has impressed Devils fans this year, and some Devils want him back. Some fans want him traded just to get those assets to make that big trade in the offseason, which they desperately need in net. So in this video, I want to talk about some teams that have expressed interest in Tyler Toffoli. Will the Devils trade him or move him heading into Friday's NHL trade deadline? We'll see. But in this video, I want to talk about him and the teams interested in looking to acquire him. So please stay with me throughout. So last week, we saw some interesting tweets going around. Darren Dreger on Insider Trading said that the New Jersey Devils would prefer to extend Toffoli and have engaged in extension talks in some degree is the key word, with agent Pat Brisson. However, the Devils, not a playoff team as of now, and have to deeply analyze this team. This was before the West Coast trip they just had. Another tweet that went out was per David Pagnotta. He tweeted the Devils over the next few games will factor into what they do with right winger Tyler Toffoli, who is in an expiring deal. If they entertain inquiries, could an LA reunion be in the cards? And word is the Kings have expressed interest in Tyler Toffoli. And Elliotte Friedman dropped a pretty interesting tweet this morning. He said he reaffirmed this morning that the Devils anticipate taking their chances by re-signing Toffoli. Toffoli is more of a wish than a likelihood this weekend for other teams. And other teams have expressed interest in trying to acquire Tyler Toffoli, but have they lowballed Tom Fitzgerald enough to the point where he just said, you know what, I'm just going to sign him. You know, we like him. We like what he provided this year to the team. He's leading our team in goals with 26. We want to keep him around. And, other teams are not giving him what he wants. So, might as well sign him because we need that piece going forward. But, it's interesting. There's some teams that have expressed interest. The LA Kings, the Edmonton Oilers, and the Vegas Golden Knights. The Knights, Mark Stone has recently went down. He will be out for the remainder of the year. The Vegas Golden Knights have that yearly, try to beat the cap sort of thing and try to acquire players to go over the cap. And then magically, one of their players comes back to play the remainder of the playoffs. But this could be a thing that helps their depth along the lines, push Amadio down, and if they could add Toffoli, it can help with their scoring heading into the playoffs. The other team is the Edmonton Oilers. The Edmonton Oilers want more depth along their right side. Zach Hyman is having a tremendous year providing offense, and this could be a situation where you have another right wing down the line right behind him, and that could add some scoring punch playing alongside Ryan Nugent-Hopkins and Evander Kane and provide a lot of depth for the Edmonton Oilers, which would make them a real legitimate Stanley Cup contender. They are, but if it adds to Toffoli, it could really help the chances even more to give them that depth that they desperately need in a tough Western Conference. So, yeah, a lot of teams are looking at Tyler Toffoli. His interest will grow over the next couple of days. The trade deadline is this Friday, and Tyler Toffoli has had a really good year with the New Jersey Devils. Looking at what he's done this year, he's played in 60 games. He's got 26 goals to lead the Devils, 18 assists, 44 points. Looking at the stellar year he had last year with the Calgary Flames, he played in 82 games, 34 goals, 39 assists for 73 points. And in the playoffs, he's played well. 44 points in 88 games played, and he's a Stanley Cup winner. So he can provide a lot to any of these teams looking to add offense as they head into the playoffs. Toffoli is still at a good age, and he's a versatile winger. He can play the right or the left side. 31 years old, and he's on a really affordable $4.25 million AAV, and he's a UFA at year's end. So this tweet that Elliotte Friedman has put out today is very interesting because the Devils don't have that many trade chips heading into this trade deadline, and Toffoli was one of their big ones that could bring back a really good return for the Devils. He can possibly bring back a first-round pick and a decent prospect, or maybe a second-round pick and a really good prospect. So you kind of looking along those lines of a high pick and a prospect for Tyler Toffoli, and he's a player that can add a lot of offense to any of these teams, the Vegas Golden Knights, the LA Kings, and the Edmonton Oilers. So he could just provide that depth up and down the lineup. He's a versatile winger. He provides a lot to the team, provides a lot of leadership, a lot of veteran leadership, and he has played in the playoffs and has won a Stanley Cup. So he adds a lot to a locker room, and I think a lot of teams the interest will grow, and it may have Fitzgerald kind of going back and forth of what to do. What he should do is talk to Toffoli. Just say, listen, we're in a situation where we need assets to make a huge trade in the offseason. Trading you, we can get a really good return to help get that in the offseason where we don't have to use our own first-round pick. That's the thing. If they can get a first-round pick for Toffoli, it will make situations a lot easier of trying to move him. But he's a free agent at year's end. The Devils can also turn back and sign him. They like him. He likes them. He wants to come back, and the Devils want him back. He provided a lot to this team and has helped them to provide a lot of offense this year. And the guys like him. He's a good locker room guy. He's gotten along great with everybody. And, there's mutual interest in both parties to come back to play for the Devils. So this is a situation where Tom Fitzgerald can move him, get the assets, and then re-sign him in the offseason if possible. But I think there is that worry that if he goes to another team, maybe he likes it there and might want to stick around there and re-sign with them. So there is that GMs have to consider. If we move him, he might like that destination more. He might like playing more there, and if they offer him a contract, he might stick around. So it's an interesting thing for GMs to consider as we head into the trade deadline. Of course, they want to get a lot of assets to help their team going forward. So I'm curious to see what Tom Fitzgerald does with Tyler Toffoli. He's one of the Devils' biggest trade chips. Will he trade him or will he re-sign him heading into Friday's NHL trade deadline? So comment below. What do you think about this? If you're the Devils, should you trade Tyler Toffoli? Should you re-sign him? Or should one of these three teams really make a bigger push to try to acquire him? The Vegas Golden Knights are rumored. The Edmonton Oilers and the LA Kings are expressing strong interest in Toffoli, but that list may grow. So we'll see what happens heading into trade deadline. Comment below. Thank you all for watching. I really appreciate your time. Smash that like button if you haven't done so. And if you haven't done so, subscribe to Hockey Skate Down. It's free. And join our hockey team. Thank you all so much. Have a great rest of the day. Have a great night. Take it easy. Stay safe.